What is up, F and True followers, wrestling fans, and members of the YWC? I'm JC Styles here with the F and brand of wrestling and entertainment here on YouTube.com with TNA Impact review for January 17, 2013. Pretty good, night on Impact. I'd probably have to say the end segment probably saved the show. Um, in my opinion, I haven't really been too much into Impact as of late, just because the fact is that I don't know. It's just I think the Aces and Eight storyline is just going on way too long, and I think it needs to be brought to a head sometime within the next month or two. But we start off the show with a video package of Sting attacking the Aces Eights in a steel cage from several weeks back, and more of the Bully Ray Hulk Hogan feud. We then move into the Jeff Hardy segment, where Jeff Hardy comes out and talks about his victory at Genesis this past Sunday night in the triple threat elimination match. We then see he's interrupted by Kaz and Daniels. Daniels comes out and talks about how he's the new number one contender for the TNA World Title. Jeff Hardy says, "Why wait? Let's do it now." Kaz and Daniels jump all over Hardy and then is run down by Storm, who comes to make the save, which leads into Hardy and Storm picking up the win in a tag team match over Daniels and Kazarian. We then go into a gut check challenge from last week. We saw the two competitors compete in the middle of the ring. We then see the winner announced in Jay Bradley. We then see another rematch from Genesis, Kenny King defeating Christian York for the second straight week in a row. We then see footage of backstage segments of talking about the wedding, moving on with Bully Ray and Hulk Hogan, some more of the feud. Bully asks Sting and begs Sting, me and you got real close over the last several months. I need you to do me a favor. I need you to go and talk to Hogan for me for Brooke. I know she's in a wreck. She wants her father there. Her father should be there to walk her down the aisle, etc. We then see more of the Bully Ray Hulk Hogan feud. Then Sting comes out and talks about what the crowd wants. Does the crowd want to see Hulk Hogan down by the ring, walking Brooke down during the wedding? He calls out Hogan, and for a little bit during this segment, it felt kind of like Hogan didn't really want to be in the ring with Sting. Like, he felt disgusted that after 20 plus years of friendship in this business, that Sting would side with Bully Ray, and Hogan just looked like he was really disgusted. He was wearing all black, and he was wearing the sunglasses. He was wearing the black bandana, and it felt like Hollywood Hogan was out there and not Hulk Hogan. You know what I mean? And at the end of the segment, Hogan goes off and he says, and I'm going to tell everyone who's been asking, are you going to be in Brooke's corner, walking her down the aisle? He talks about social media and everyone's bugging him and harassing him about it. And he finally comes clean and he says that I always do the right thing, and he drops the mic and he walks off. We then see another rematch from this past Sunday's Genesis when Velvet shows Taryn Terrell, the referee of the Knockouts division, footage from her match with Velvet this past Sunday, and how Gail had her foot underneath the bottom rope as the 3 count was made and pinning Gail Kim's shoulders to the mat. We then hear that Dixie gave her a rematch. Hogan gave her a rematch, excuse me. Brooke Hogan. And we see Velvet pick up the win and is still the number one contender for the Knockouts Championship. We then see Aries and Rude come out and start running down the champions, talk about how Robert Roode was the longest reigning TNA World Heavyweight Champion, and then how Austin Aries beat the longest running TNA World Heavyweight Champion. These two bicker back and forth. They talk about the current TNA champions and how all the current TNA champions are jokes and how they're the real deal. And then Chavo and Hernandez come out and they start, backing up the TNA champions. And then basically we see Rude and Aries basically ask them, what's the help from the wedding doing as the tag team champions? He goes, I didn't know weddings do Mexican. And then they started talking about Mexican food, and then that's when Hernandez and Chavo jumped them, got the upper hand. We saw Aries and Rude scurry out of the ring. We then move into the wedding. Now we see Tommy Dreamer came back. We saw Brother Runt, a.k.a. Spike Dudley, the Knockouts, Christy, Mickey, and Miss Tessmacher. And it was just a really good wedding altogether. Hogan actually did come out and walk Brooke down, and I was just waiting for something to go wrong. I honestly was. I had a feeling that something was going to go on, and then what happened? Taz grabs the microphone as they're getting ready to say, I now pronounce you man and wife, husband and wife. You may kiss the bride, whatever. Um, Taz gets on the mic and he says, "I've known you for 20 something. I've known you for a long time. Do you really want to do this?" And he starts talking, and then all of a sudden he says, "Is it hot in here?" And he takes the coat off, and he's wearing an Aces and Eights vest. Taz joined the Aces and Eights. We saw a big brawl as the show goes off. We saw Bully Ray get knocked in the head with the big planter, wooden planter, which they tried to play it off that it was a heavy stone, and Bully got cracked in the head twice with it. Hogan got put down. Bully Ray, Brother Run, and Tommy Dreamer got put down. And I honestly thought that they were going to smack him in the back of the head with the hammer, because the guy who wears the skull ski mask with the long hair was with the hammer behind, making it look like he was getting ready to crack Bully in the back of the head with it. And that's how we end the show. Now I'm looking forward to seeing Impact next week, just because I want to see what Taz has to say. And guys, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. For the effing brand of wrestling and entertainment here on YouTube.com, please leave your comments in the comment box below and let me know your thoughts of TNA Impact tonight. With that being said, I'm JC Styles, and I will catch you later.